Alright guys, in this video today I put together some back pain exercises you can do at home, okay? So these exercises are a combination of myofascial release, strength activation, mobility and flexibility. Okay, so this first one I got here is a hip flexor myofascial release, so the psoas, okay, which is part of the hip flexor group. Okay, so first of all I'm just going to lay on the ball and roll the ball from side to side to get the fibers in a side to side movement. Then I move the ball just into the side of my belly button because the hip flexor muscle, or the psoas, starts on the front of the hips and goes onto the back of the spine, just to the side of the belly button. Okay, so that really helps me. You should try that one, definitely. This one here is a hip flexor stretch variation. So what I'm doing is I'm squeezing my glute and pushing my hips forward, okay, and then I'm breathing with that to get a good stretch on the hip flexors. Okay, so releasing the hip flexors is going to help your lower back pain. Then I'm going to show you a variation. Okay, so this one's a bit more dynamic. When I'm squeezing my glute and pushing my hips forward, then I grab onto the front of my ankle to make it more intense and push forward again. Okay, so that's like the third progression, yeah? So this one here, I'm using the lacrosse ball again. I'm getting into my lower back to release to release my lower back muscles, hit some trigger points there. Okay, so it's just like massaging the back, get into the QL muscle, tight QLs, tight hip flexors, as we just went through, can definitely contribute to some lower back pain. So if I loosen them up, it should help. Okay, so just laying that ball, move it about, find some trigger points. Okay, so now I've got a dynamic QL stretch, quadratus lumborum. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just moving my trunk from side to side in a lateral flexion, and I'm moving my arm over my head to stretch that lower back quadratus lumborum muscle. Okay, and I'm just using different angles. Okay, so try that, hit some different spots there, see how that feels. Okay, so now I'm onto a pigeon pose stretch. Okay, so first when I'm on the ground, it's harder on the ground. Okay, so if you can't get in that position, you can go onto the couch like I'm going to show you higher up because it's easier. Okay, so if it's hard to get onto the ground, use a couch or a bench or something. Okay, so again, if you loosen your hips up, some of us have too loose hips, and tight hips can contribute to back pain. In most cases we mostly have tight hips, so if you loosen them up in that pigeon pose stretch, that can help. Okay, so now I'm going on to a kneeling side to side. It's like a dynamic stretch. So I've got my knees together, okay, right, and I'm mobilizing my back muscles, again the QL, in a frontal plane fashion. Okay, so all you do is breathe and move side to side, as I say, with your knees together. Okay, try that one, it feels good. I enjoy that one. Keep it a good neutral spine, shoulders together, good head posture, flat back. Same setup here. Okay, so I'm on my hands and knees. Good neutral spine, good head posture. Now I'm mobilizing my spine in the sagittal plane. Okay, taking my spine through a extension flexion joint action. Okay, so again, that feels good. It's a cat-cow stretch, they call it. It's quite common, you've probably seen it round. Just mobilizing the spine, getting it moving, getting the blood flow in there. That's good. This one here is quite important, is some thoracic rotation. Okay, so I have my knee on a pillow to stabilize my hips and lumbar spine, okay, to get the movement through my thoracic spine. And you may have noticed I've just changed the angle. Okay, so I'm going like across the middle and higher up. Okay, which again is good mobility and loosens up the thoracic spine. What you don't want to do is just throw your shoulder around like that. Okay, the movement comes from your spine, remember that. Okay, Turkish Get Ups, fantastic exercise, one of the best things you can do. Okay, so you have so many components in this. You have hip mobility, core stability, you have the 3 planes of motion, you have the 3 connective chains worked here. Okay, right, and you also you're working your core stability, upper and lower body strength, as well as some conditioning. So that's good for hip mobility and stuff like that. Okay, for your lower back. Okay, Now I'm doing these plank hip openers. So again, like I said, two important components in back pain. Back pain prevention would be a strong core, which targeting the muscles to stabilize and support the spine, and hip mobility, which I get two birds with one stone there. Okay, so I'm doing two things there. Okay, hip mobility and core stability. Okay, so try that. So now ankle mobility. So a lot of things what's often overlooked in knee pain, back pain, and hip pain is ankle mobility, because the ankle joints is the first ones to hit the ground in ground force reaction. So if you have locked up, stiff ankles, weak ankles, it can cause problems in our hips, back, and knees. So try that. Get your ankles and calves and hamstrings mobilized doing that drill. Okay. So some glute bridges or some glute marches. Okay, right. So I got some glute bridges. Squeeze the glutes, go into a bridge. Now I'm going through some marches. I'm adding a bit of a rotary stability component to train your lower back, strengthen and activate your glutes and your lower back. Okay, so again, I'm going into some bridges, squeeze the glutes, push the hips into the air, breathe out on the way up as you push. Okay, so some strong glutes prevents lower back pain and lower back issues. Okay, so just core stability, core strength, some good old mountain climbers, gets you in a good postural alignment, good head posture, shoulders together, flat neutral spine. It's better than some like crunches where you round in your lower back, round in your shoulders, and only training one muscle group, which is the rectus. There you're getting them all done. You're getting all the core stabilizers done there as well as the rectus. Okay, so these ones, some hip lifts or some hip press, whatever you want to call them. Squeeze the glutes, drive the hips into the air. Again, strong glutes, okay, is a good back prevention method. Okay, so I'm targeting the glutes and I'm just using the rest of my upper back and shoulders on the chair, on the couch, and you can hold it there for the last rep. So if this video has been useful, just let me know. Leave some comments as always. Leave your likes and feedback in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.